With me today is Dr. Ludicina. Did I say that correctly?
You did, Nick. Well done. Dr. Laudi here. Happy to be here.
Good. Dr. Laudi with ABQ Orthopedics in Albuquerque. So I take it ABQ stands for Albuquerque in some fashion, correct?
You got it. Land of enchantment here in New Mexico.
Very beautiful city. I was down there last summer, actually, but great stuff going on. Now, I understand you're kind of quite the guy here, that you've been around the Denver area. You've worked with the Broncos and Rockies and all kinds of things like that. So sports medicine seems to be right up your alley, correct?
Absolutely. I'm thankful to have worked with so many great individuals in the sports medicine world and learned so much from those medical professionals over the years. Special mentors, not just how to treat people medically or surgically, but really treating the person, the individual, in really a humanistic manner. So I'm fortunate to do what I do. I love doing what I do. I'm passionate about it. My patient's success really is my priority. Their success is my success.
So it's not one size fits all. You tailor-make everything for the individuals then?
Super important to do so. We come in so many different shapes and sizes. We have so many different interests and goals and plans. So when injuries happen, it's important to tailor that plan for that individual to help them get back to their life.
So you've dealt with the Broncos here in the past, as we mentioned, and the Rockies and that. So a great big guy, a Broncos player, whatever, basically his knee, is it the same size as my knee, or his knees and things like that, all different sizes?
Sure, all different shapes and sizes, but the anatomy is very similar. Again, fortunate to have worked on that level with those professional athletes and the athletic trainers, orthopedic surgeons who take care of those athletes. But the anatomy is the same, and one of the benefits of having worked on that level is being able to bring the techniques and the philosophy of treating professional athletes to the common folk, to the kids playing out in the field, to the construction workers, the wildfire fighters who are out there, to just someone who likes to have a pickup game or go for a hike. Injuries can happen, and they can get in the way of our plans and our goals. So helping individuals getting back to their game or their work or their active, independent lifestyle as quickly and safely and as comfortably as possible is paramount to my practice. And that is where Activarmor can come in and offer I think, outstanding alternative to traditional casting.
Well, that's it. Activarmor is like now. I mean, casting and stuff, that's for many years ago. I remember tearing a cartilage in my knee many, many years ago, and it was the big cast and the whole thing. Well, technology has really improved, and Activarmor here with the global headquarters in Pueblo is quite the deal. So you're using some of that in Albuquerque, I take it then, right?
Yes, I have incorporated that into my practice. I think it's an excellent product. I'm very proud to our team at ABQ Orthopedics is proud to work with Diana Hall. She's a special, committed professional. Her dedicated Activarmor team bringing this product to market. Once I found out about Activarmor, I had, of course, needed to do my research because I just don't accept any new product into my practice. I want tried and true. I want evidence-based. And after doing my research, I decided Activarmor really does make sense as an alternative to traditional casting for my patients. And I will never forget first patient who I put an Activarmor cast on. Great kid, active kid, smart kid, great parents. And he broke his wrist, and it was the beginning of the summer. He was just finishing with school. And he was so disappointed, just saying, you hurt yourself, you're going to need a cast. And for a kid and for the parents, boy, can't go in the pool, can't run around. Losing a summer for a kid can be decimating psychologically. And when I told them about Activarmor, they might have felt a little bit better about that. And when I put them in an InstaArmor splint for that first week, let the swelling go down, and did his 3D scan. He thought it was really cool. I showed him his 3D scan of his forearm, and we sent that in to Activarmor there in Pueblo, Colorado. And a couple days later, we had his Activarmor cast. And when he first saw it, when I first put it on his arm, that smile from ear to ear, because he knew this was something special. He had his cast. His injury was going to be protected. He was going to be comfortable in it. He was going to be able to jump in the pool and not have to worry about it because it's waterproof. He could take a shower, keep it clean. So his parents were thrilled. It wasn't going to stink up the house with a smelly cast. And when he went back to school, when all the kids saw this Activarmor cast, these casts look sharp. They are cool looking too. And the coaches saw it, and these coaches said, boy, if I ever need a cast, that's the cast I want.
All of a sudden, all these kids wanted to break their arm right away or something, probably. Huh?
Right. Please don't. I was going to say, it's amazing the myriad of ways that we as humans can hurt ourselves. All kinds of different ways. And some of the stories that we've heard in the clinic, just when we think we've heard it all, about how someone hurt themselves. It's like, wait, how did this happen? Tell me that story again. So yeah, we can definitely hurt ourselves. And when we do hurt ourselves, to get back to our life as quickly and safely and as comfortably as possible, that is important. And that is our focus at ABQ Orthopedics. Help our patients get back to their lives, because active lifestyles truly do inspire our professional practice. We thrive on helping people of all ages, abilities, all interests, activities, recover from injuries, and return to their active lifestyles, really to achieve their personal goals and their potential.
Well, when I was young, I used to be able to jump off the roof of a house and not ever think twice about it. Now it's like I get out of the chair and my knees and back and everything so things change as you age, obviously, here. But speaking of Activarmor, and Diana, of course, CEO, is in here. Activarmor is a whole new thing, and people that aren't familiar with it, kind of explain that part of it, if you would, please.
Hi, yeah. So I was just going to say that our mission is just like what Dr. Laudi was talking about. Our whole goal is to improve patients' quality of life while they're healing. And the way that they can do that is by being able to perform their normal daily activities, even basic things, just basic hygiene, like taking a shower and just washing and sanitizing your hands, especially during COVID pandemic, but just in general, basic tasks like especially elderly folks that just want to, that might have carpal tunnel and just want to wash their hands, want to take a shower, want to do the dishes and the gardening, and kids, like he was saying, who want to swim during the summer, and athletes who want to be able to sweat. Just normal activities while you may need to be immobilized for something like fracture care or for a chronic condition like carpal tunnel. We're really just trying to improve patients' quality of life and their basic hygiene while they're being immobilized. And so being able to offer this in New Mexico is awesome for us, because we're trying to make this available to everyone all over the country and all over the world. And so innovative doctors like Dr. Laudi are great partners for us because we know that their patients are going to get the latest in treatments, and that the doctors really care about the patient's quality of life and their activities while they're being immobilized and while they're healing.
Well, there you go. Well, Dr. Laudi, what kind of equipment do you have in your office? If I was to come in with a problem, what would can you walk me through the steps of what would happen and what kind of equipment you're using and things like that?
Sure, absolutely. So in our office, the equipment for treating a fracture, and in orthopedic surgery, really what we do is we treat injuries. So as a patient, come in, we talk to you, we evaluate you, we examine you, we may get an x-ray or other imaging of your injury, give you our impression of what's going on, answer your questions, give you options as to how to treat it, get you taken care of, and get you back to your life. So, for example, if you were to have a broken bone and Oftentimes in surgery and orthopedic surgery, basically you break it, I fix it. Often we can treat those things without surgery, sometimes in a cast or a splint or a brace. Sometimes surgery may offer a more predictably better outcome. I heal with steel, sometimes titanium, using minimally invasive anatomic surgical approaches, and then using some combination of plates or pins or screws or nails or rods to hold a bone or tendon or ligament in the proper position for healing. The orthopedic operating room can sometimes look like a hardware store, but often, and with or without surgery, some form of splinting, bracing, or casting comes into play. So, for example, if you needed a cast, we could do a traditional cast, which would stay on for a broken bone, let's say maybe 6 weeks or so, and then, remove it down the road. And there's certainly potentially some stiffness. Want to make sure things are healed well for you. Activarmor provides a alternative where instead of that cast, initial splint to let the swelling go down, we would place and perhaps an InstaArmor splint, which also provides many of the benefits the Activarmor casts do. I would do a 3-dimensional scan with an iPhone app. Doesn't hurt. I don't touch it at all. We're not pushing on the fracture when we do that. All you need to do is stay still for me. I'd send that into the company, make sure you're comfortable, keep you in your splint for a couple days, let that swelling go down. A couple days later, you'd come back to the office, and we would fit you in that super cool Activarmor splint where I'd be confident you'd be comfortable, the fracture would be protected, and you would be able to live with a cast, I think, a lot easier than a traditional cast.
I remember back when I was a kid and somebody'd get a cast when they'd finally get it off, which I always thought was scary when they were cutting them off. But when they would finally get them off, it looked like their arm was all shrunken up and it was all pale and it was just kind of weird looking. I guess that doesn't happen with this Activarmor thing, correct?
Well, I'll tell you, taking off a cast with a young kid can be terrifying. The noise of that saw can really be difficult for not just the child, but the parents. And of course, boy, that smell when that cast comes off, if it's been left on there for a couple weeks at a time, and especially in the summertime when it's hot, sweaty, etc. So we do things to minimize the amount of atrophy where the muscles are sort of becoming smaller or wasting away. We can work on some basic motion exercises. One of the features of Activarmor casting is it can be converted to a removable splint. And certain fracture types, or once a fracture is healed enough to get out of the continual immobilization, fractures heal best when they're not allowed to move. You don't want the bones rattling around, after all, in there. Once the fracture is healed enough, we can convert that cast to a splint where it's removable with little bungee cords. So I can come out of that splint to do some therapy exercises to help prevent some and improve some of that muscle atrophy, to help recondition the injured person, getting them back to what they need to do, whether that's work or game or just having fun out there.
Well, I'm picturing in my mind right now, one of these professional athletes that's sitting in the ice, I don't know what you call it, the ice tank or ice bath or whatever. You could actually have that Activarmor device on and have it in the ice. Is that right?
Just leave it on. Don't have to put it in a big couple plastic bags, duct tape it, and keep it out of the tub or out of the shower. So it is a lot easier just to live with immobilization cast Activarmor compared to a traditional cast.
Well, we're speaking with Dr. Laudi from ABQ Orthopedics today in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And ABQ Orthopedics, it's sounds like that's quite the place in Albuquerque.
Well, here at ABQ Orthopedics, we are the first clinic in New Mexico and only clinic to offer Activarmor. It's an advanced generation of splinting, casting technology. We're proud to be able to offer that option to our patients in place of traditional casting. At ABQ Orthopedics, again, we want to provide high-quality, personalized orthopedic care for our patient population. We're accepting new patients. We do injury and fracture care. We do sports medicine, returning active people back to their active lifestyles after injuries. We also do arthritis and joint replacement. And we truly partner with our patients to help them move forward after their injuries, because our patient success really is our priority. For injuries, we can offer same day and next day fracture follow-ups, because accidents and injuries happen. Patients don't need to wait to see a specialist. we can often accommodate those patients and get them taken care of. We've been here in Albuquerque as orthopedic specialists for decades, and we are proud to be rooted here in ABQ in Albuquerque, New Mexico, land of enchantment.
Well, I don't know anything about any of it, but I would think the better shape you're in, probably the less likely you are to get injured. Is that correct? Or you see, guys like we were talking earlier, the Broncos and Rockies, they get injured, but those people are in superb shape. What about a guy like me?
Well, anyone can have an active lifestyle. And yes, those professional athletes, well, they really train year-round. And conditioning and preparation is a big part of preventing injury. Again, anyone can have an active lifestyle and achieve the benefits that are provided by an active lifestyle, achieve those physical and psychological benefits. And if you're not sure how to, it's okay to get a little bit of professional guidance. And perhaps the best guidance can come from a certified athletic trainer or a physical therapist if you have a history of injury and need to work around that to design a training program specifically tailored for an individual such as yourself. Or personal trainers, there are some very good ones out there. Ideally, that personal trainer certified by American College of Sports Medicine. They have a national strength and conditioning certification. And with any goal to become more active, it's important to plan. You want to have goals, daily, weekly, monthly goals, specific, achievable goals that are tailored to the individual. And with that plan, you can gain motivation, confidence, enthusiasm, focus on that plan to achieve those goals. And that achievement can lead to a cycle of positivity. And it can become a vicious cycle of positivity where that buildup of a solid foundation of evidence-based training techniques. And once you have that foundation, to build off that foundation, not doing only what is necessary, but then you can do what is possible. And once you're doing what's necessary, and that's become automatic, and then you're doing what's possible, and then the possible things become more common, and then really amazing things happen, and those goals can be achieved, I believe, by anyone as long as they're committed to it. They get a plan, they set their goals with good guidance, and really to rise to the top of that pyramid of life in self-actualization, become and realize our best selves.
Well, I understand you were quite or are quite the athlete yourself, right?
Fortunate to have had an active lifestyle. I've done lots of different activities, and as we mature, some of those activities we can't do anymore, so we have to find new ones, and there's so many great ways to stay active out there. And sometimes with an active lifestyle, injuries do happen, and I've certainly had my share. Really, that's part of why I became an orthopedic surgeon, with my history of injuries and my experiences. And again, I'm very fortunate to do what I do, and I want to bring good things to my patients because, again, their success is my success. I want them to get back to their game or their work and their active lifestyles as quickly and safely and as comfortably as possible. And part of that is incorporating Activarmor into our practice to help them recover from their injuries and ultimately achieve their goals.
I certainly appreciate you taking your time, Dr. Laudi. How do we get a hold of you, or how can we get a hold of ABQ in Albuquerque, ABQ Orthopedics in Albuquerque website, things like that?
Thank you, Nick. abqorthopedics.com. That is our website. That is the easiest way to get to us, abqorthopedics.com. Visit us on the web.
That sounds great. Well, I certainly, again, appreciate you taking the time to talking with us and all the good stuff. And it sounds exciting. All the things you have going on down there in Albuquerque sound really exciting and real trendy. And I certainly appreciate it, once again, you taking the time.
Thank you very much, Nick.